What's going on, everybody? This is JVB. This is the post-game report. And I've been trying to stick to my promise with releasing new content for the YouTube channel for PGR. And now, finally, I don't know what the hell it was with my PlayStation Pro, but I tried two separate thumb drives, and for some reason, it wouldn't allow me to install or to transfer over gameplay videos. I found a thumb drive just sitting around in a cabinet somewhere. I wasn't even looking for an extra one. I was like, what the hell, let me try it. Lo and behold, it works. So now I'm going to be able to put gameplay video behind my commentary. And I want to separate the audio of PGR with and the video. So what I do on the channel might most likely won't reflect what you hear on the PGR feed. Sometimes I will take the audio that I put on the video and upload it to iTunes. Not all the time. But what you're seeing me play right now is Ghost of Tsushima by Sucker Punch. It's one of the best new IPs to come out in quite some time. And I'm really shocked that I enjoyed it as much as I did, because I'm not a big samurai guy. I mean, Kill Bill, she ran around with a samurai sword, and that was cool as shit. And, I forgot the samurai anime with Samuel Jackson. That was really cool. But I was a little reluctant to pick up Ghost because I was like, you know what? It might not be my type of game. And then, of course, there were mixed reviews. But let me tell you something. When you play this game and you realize the amount of content you have available to you. And I'm talking about the side missions. The side missions are so underrated in this game. Some of them feel like downloadable content that you have to pay for. Some missions will literally go on for hours. And then, of course, like with most games that are, this is not truly an RPG. It's not that huge, like, let's say, a Witcher 3 or something like that. But you can run around, build up your character, gain resources, so you could build up your equipment, and you could do all these side quests. And you don't even have to touch the single-player campaign. Now, of course, like with most really good, fleshed-out single-player campaigns, I wanted to rush through the campaign to see what happened, but I found myself sidetracked quite a bit, especially with photo mode. Photo mode is really good. Really, really freaking good. And the reason why it's so good is because it gives you a lot of tools to work with. And then you throw in the fact that the environments are so freaking pretty. That's the way to describe it. Or for me, that's how I describe it. It's pretty. It's a pretty game. Now, there's a weird contrast between the characters, right? The character models and the environments. To me, the environments kind of look cartoony. And then the characters themselves look somewhat realistic. So you have your environments looking cartoony and your characters looking somewhat realistic, and it works. Now, I'm going to bring up The Last of Us 2 really quick, because imagine having to follow The Last of Us 2 and then being so good that people are conflicted as to which title they consider Game of the Year. And that's what Sony has given us. It has given us two knockout AAA titles. One is a sequel, one is a brand new IP, and it's based on samurais. So imagine being Sucker Punch and saying, look, we want to make a game centered around samurais. We know we did Infamous, and we know it's a popular series and people would love to have another Infamous Second Son or sequel to it. But we're going to do something different. Imagine trying to pitch that idea, and then Sony tells you, okay, well, guess what? A month beforehand, The Last of Us 2 is coming out. Now, of course, there has been delays for The Last of Us 2, so I'm sure the initial plan wasn't to have them so close. But when you think of the visuals, the sound, and of course the gameplay for Ghost is phenomenal. It is so fluid. Once you get the combat down packed and the movement, You can do some crazy combinations. You could chain together all different types of techniques on the fly, and it happens so fluidly, it never gets boring. You could, I mean, like most games, you're literally doing the same shit. Like most games, regardless of what it is. They just hide it or call it different things. But it's how it's executed that makes it good. Look at The Last of Us. Basically, you're doing the same thing you did in The Last of Us. It's a revenge. It's a game based on revenge. And you even had twists that, and moments where you're like, no, I don't want to do this, but you have to. And that happened twice in Ghost. There were situations where I'm like, really? You're going to make me do this right now? I don't want to do it. And that's great. That really set the tone for the rest of the game. And, you know, I'm trying not to spoil anything because these are key moments in the game. But I tell you what, it's not a true open world game. There are limitations, but when you put in all the side quests and all the resources you need to collect to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor, you have yourself a $60 product that is truly worth, or is truly, trying to find the word here, but it's definitely a bargain because you have a lot of content. And then you throw in the fact that they announced a few days ago that they're going to implement 4-player co-op into Ghost of Tsushima. That's going to be sick. So I can't wait for that. And then with The Last of Us 2, we're going to get multiplayer down the road, possibly when the PlayStation 5 comes out. And that's based on The Last of Us, the first one. Based on that multiplayer, if they improve that, oh my God, that game's going to be sick. With the brutality that we got in The Last of Us 2, oh man, I can't wait. So there are two AAA blockbuster titles that, as a consumer, as a gamer, I am really fortunate to have played and finished both. And if I had to pick one that was Game of the Year, I'll definitely go with The Last of Us 2 because of the impact of the story and the fact that, you know, you had to play a character who did something, and then all of a sudden you're liking that character even though she did something that was unforgivable to a lot of people. That's storytelling. That is great storytelling. And to talk a little trash here, there are people who call themselves influencers. They do podcasts. They do YouTube. And they'll hype up these garbage games. I'm not going to say which consoles, right? But you don't hear them say anything about The Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, unless it's negative. You try to preach to an audience, if you're a podcaster or a YouTuber, about video games, but then you go and trash really great content like Ghost and The Last of Us 2. That says a lot about your character. It says you're a shill. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later. Bye.